Remove current borders from a modern map of the Middle East, North Africa, and the Balkans, revealing the single massive footprint of the Ottoman Empire. Governing this expanse spanned 3 continents, including the Orthodox Christian Balkans, the Arabic-speaking Levant, and North Africa. The empire's 600-year duration relied on an administrative machine designed to organize that diversity into a functioning state. These core operating systems defined the daily mechanics of the state. In the 13th century, Anatolia was a fractured frontier zone, caught in a geopolitical vacuum between the declining Byzantine Empire and the advancing Mongols. Chieftains like Osman I utilized this chaos by forming pragmatic alliances and practicing religious tolerance to absorb neighboring frontier towns. By 1453, the capture of Constantinople marked the end of the nomadic war camp and the establishment of a centralized bureaucracy based in the Topkapi Palace. This transition institutionalized their early momentum, creating a central government capable of managing a transcontinental state. Maintaining a vast empire required a loyal standing army that would not challenge the sultan's central authority. To achieve this, the state implemented the Devshirme system, a tax on Christian subjects in the Balkans, where young boys were recruited, converted, and trained specifically for state service. These recruits became the Janissary Corps, a highly disciplined standing infantry, fiercely loyal to the sultan. Over several centuries, these elite warriors transformed into a reactionary political faction that deposed sultans who attempted to modernize the military. The military institution engineered to protect the empire eventually became a primary obstacle to its survival in the modern era. The state also faced the challenge of funding its massive military without depleting the imperial treasury. Through the Timar system, the government granted provincial cavalrymen local land revenues in exchange for military service and local administration. This system provided a massive cavalry force for generations, until New World silver flooded the market, causing inflation, and European maritime routes began to bypass the Ottoman-controlled Silk Road. The land-based economic engine was rendered obsolete by the emergence of a globalized oceanic economy. Social stability relied on managing a diverse population without constant internal conflict. The millet system granted religious minorities legal autonomy and self-rule in exchange for a tax on non-Muslims and loyalty to the sultan. This stability lasted until the 19th century, when the rise of modern nationalism began to fracture the empire's social fabric. Nationalist movements in the Balkans sought independent ethnostates, leading to violent rebellions in Greece, Serbia, and Bulgaria, often supported by rival European empires. The centuries-old system for religious tolerance became the fault line that pulled the society apart. By the 1800s, the empire's territorial losses led European diplomats to label it the sick man of Europe. During the Tanzimat era, the state attempted to modernize the military, secularize laws, and build Western-style infrastructure to compete with European powers. These reforms required massive foreign loans, which resulted in a national bankruptcy in 1875. In the effort to save their sovereignty through modernization, the Ottomans lost control of their economy to European creditors. This economic weakness led the empire into World War I, where its military fought across multiple fronts in an industrialized conflict. The war triggered Arab rebellions in the Middle East and state-sponsored violence that resulted in the Armenian genocide. After the Allied victory, the 1920 Treaty of Sèvres sought to carve up the Anatolian heartland among European powers. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk led a nationalist resistance to drive out the occupiers and abolished the Sultanate, establishing the Republic of Turkey. The empire's collapse directly birthed the fractured and contested borders that define the modern Middle East.